Thanks for joining today's program. It's been fire and brimstone since the beginning of 2018 for residents of Oyibi in Accra who speak of regular visits by armed robbers who not only come to rob but rape. 24 of the horrifying cases have been recorded in just 2 months. In one of the homes the armed men visited, they shot a 44-year-old man in the head and threw his body out of his compound. In a separate incident, a 67-year-old man was hit in the head with rocks until he bled and died 2 days later. Daughter of the deceased, who said she was stripped naked, almost raped, but for the intervention of the leader of the gang. Maxwell Agbagba visited the community and now reports.
That is the banner of 67-year-old Stefano Kujo, who was murdered at his house on the 17th January when some armed robbers stormed his home. We are told that on that same night, the armed robbers went to 3 different houses here at Oyibi to rob them of their properties. I've been speaking to his daughter.
On 11:45. Yes, we were just in the room, all lights were off, and my sister just saw a shadow passing by the window, and she told my mom. She peeped through the window and realized there were armed robbers at the compound. She told my mom there were armed robbers around with Max. Before she even said it, as in she completed, we heard my dad screaming outside. Not knowing, he went through the front door, that's a sitting room door, trying to sack the goods outside from the porch, and they asked him, they silenced him because there was a gun on him, and marched him to the kitchen door where the poly tank is and started beating him. So actually I had to force and open. When I was opening, they were screaming, "Don't open, we will kill you." So I had to, and one person was like, "You this man today, we will kill you." That's what one person was saying. So I forced to open. And they were pulling it back not to open, but then I forced to open it, and I just knelt down, begging, pleading with them not to kill my dad. They started beating me, they slapped me, they pushed me inside actually, and started hitting my head on the fridge. So that was when the other 3 people also entered and told my mom to kneel down. They started moving from room to room, beating us, and doing their own thing. They went room to room actually, but before they started searching room to room, one person went outside giving the order. As they moved to the dining room, then they move to master bedroom, they move. So I realized it's like they were familiar, or people were familiar with where everything was. They took all our phones, and after breaking my dad's head with a stone and his legs,
head with a stone.
Yes, they took a stone, a big stone, and broke the head. So blood was just oozing out through the head and the ears. They broke the legs too, so he couldn't stand anymore. So after doing that, they came in to ask we should bring money. And they asked, where is the money? And actually we went to withdraw money at the junction around 3 to 4 that way. So my sister just came out with the money, which was 1,200, and they said it wasn't enough. That's not money. We should add more. So they were like, where is my mom? She should bring money. And she also entered, and she was able to raise 200. So we added the 200 to it. There were 50 cedis notes and new notes, 1 notes. So they were like, how much is the money? But because we were scared, no one was able to answer. And they started kissing the money. They started making noise. Actually, they told me they stripped me naked. Yes. And one person was like, they should leave me. We on ye, Juma. So that was how the whole thing went. But they were with arms, with metals and guns, and they were masked. And after the robbery, we realized, not knowing, they were shooting the air, and they were like, we shouldn't come out. No one should come out. So I managed to lock everything again. And not knowing, there were some people at the back. So it's as if the whole house was surrounded. The guy too he said he wanted to rape me. He said it. He removed his strap, wearing only that. So it was one person who told him to stop. Men we on you, Juma. Then And actually, 2 people were speaking away. In fact, we feel like leaving the area, but it's possible we will leave after a year.
Okay. So sorry. So sorry, please. So sorry. Okay. This is another victim of the attacks here at Oyibi. He was attacked by some armed men on the 22nd January in his house. He was shot in the head and his body thrown out of the compound. Family members saw the body some hours after the attack. His brother has been narrating exactly what happened on that day.
But that night we couldn't close the garage. So we went bed. So in the night we were sleeping before I heard my brother's wife's sister. She shouted. So I also came out from a security room. I was sleeping there with one of the guys who stayed in the house with us. So I just ran giddy then passed through the garage and entered the room. So when I reached, I saw my brother's wife's door was broken with stone, and my brother's own too was broken with stone. And I saw 2 men in the room. So the moment the man see me, he removed pistol on me and asked me to bring money. And I said I did not have any money. So he asked me again, I said I did not have. Then he walked on me, then put a gun on my chest and marched me to the hall. And asked me again, I said I did not have. So he asked me to kneel down in the hall and raise my hand. And so I also did, and then he went away, then continued searching my brother's room. So I was in the room before. I see my brothers with some of the guys passed through the kitchen. So they all came outside in the fence wall. So they were in the fence wall. So they were talking like my brother was begging them. But my brother, when he was begging to, they were not understanding him. So for that, the guy that I was staying to, he also came out. They wanted to come and close the door because of I also come out. So he heard the voice. So he wanted to come and close. So people saw him in the room. So they went and then bring him to out. Then they beat him with pickers.
They beat him with what?
Pickers.
Pickers?
Yeah. So
what?
Pickers.
Pickers?
Yeah.
Like the pickers?
Yeah. Yeah. They used to beat his head and then jump on him. They asked me not to look at anybody. So they marched him also to come and lock him in the distant bathroom. So they asked all of us not to come out before they faced my brother alone. So at that time too, we did not know whether they threw my brother through the fence wall or he himself that jumped the fence wall. Because when they go all finish, I'm the one who jumped again. I passed through the backyard and jumped the fence wall, and I searched around because we searched inside the fence wall, we couldn't find him. So I went out and before I find the body outside. So I come inside and come and call my brother's wife and then the guy.
Really sad and disturbing accounts there. But police in Accra has arrested 2 people in connection with Tuesday's daylight armed robbery at Royal Motors, a motorbike retail company in North Industrial Area, Accra. The 2 are believed to have been involved in the incident which saw the robbers snatch 2 vehicles to aid their escape, leaving 1 person with a gunshot wound. Joy News understands the 2 were picked up hours after the robbery incident. Director of Police Public Affairs, ACP David Oklu, gave more details on the arrest and also touched on the security situation at Oyibi, a suburb of Accra, in an interview with Israel Lai on Joy News Prime.
2 people have been arrested and are assisting the police in investigations in respect of this morning's robbery at Royal Motors. They were made a few hours after the robbery was reported. So they are assisting us in investigation. It is too early yet to give further information, but for now, 2 people have been picked. And in addition to that, other arrests have also been made in respect of the Forest Bureau robberies that have been reported around the Spinters Road. Now, 9 people are currently in custody and also assisting us in respect of those Forest Bureau and the mobile money joint robberies.
Now, all these arrests you're talking about in relation to the attacks on the Forex Bureau, were all these arrests made today?
No, those arrests, those were earlier made within a week.
All right. Now, so let's stick with the arrest of the 2. Are these the people who were involved in the armed robbery this morning, or they're probably accomplices? They
are being questioned to enable us to determine the extent of their involvement, but we strongly believe that they are connected to the robberies that have happened. Meanwhile, the others are also on the run, but we are aggressively pursuing them so that we can get them to face the full rigors of the law. Some items, including vehicles in connection with that robbery, have been intercepted, and they are currently with the police, and they are with vital tools in getting those who are behind it. So yes, some items are.
Well, security analyst Adam Bona, commenting on the matter, raised concerns on how the Royal Motors crime scene was handled by the police and spoke on the increasing spate of crime as well as the change in crime formats, which he attributes to foreign influence. He also shared some tips on how you can protect yourself from armed robbers.
It is more of an insider job where somebody tipped off and said, the bullion van is coming. I mean, I don't want to disclose all the information I have, but at least I picked up intelligence with regards to how, I mean, these guys went about robbing the facility. And more so, if you look at it, one will say our crime scene management team, it is something that we probably would have to look at. I would have wished that as the incident happened, the place would have been cordoned off so that, you know, at the end of the day, fingerprints would be lifted from objects that these people might have touched. But the most significant thing I would say, looking at this robbery, has to do with the police being able to swiftly. And I think the arrest was done 2 hours after. Within 2 hours, they've been able to arrest these 2 people. I wouldn't say who they are, but at least I have information who they are, but I won't put it out there. Or else it has a tendency to destroy whatever investigation the police is doing. But I would say that some of these facilities would have to put a lot of measures in place. Their CCTV was taken away. And if you know what I mean, their CCTV was taken, and I wouldn't want to say, you know, why was it taken? But the truth is that somebody might have given information with regards to where the recorder is. The recorder of the CCTV is the nerve center of whatever is going on in terms of the CCTV. It was stolen. And so I would urge that homes and businesses should use the ghost CCTV system. The ghost CCTV system becomes invisible when it is installed. And probably if they had the ghost CCTV system, that would have helped in retrieving who were there. I mean, who are these guys? But let's hope that with the with these people who have been arrested, they will be able to get the rest of them arrested as soon as possible. It is pretty serious, pretty grim. But just like I said, what is Bank of Ghana doing? I mean, we are not asking Bank of Ghana any question. Bank of Ghana is supposed to regulate activities of people who lend money, activities of mobile money joint, activities of forest bureaus. Have we asked ourselves the last 10 years, how many banks, how many rural banks, how many, universal licensed banks have been robbed? You hardly get that. And the simple reason is that the requirement in issuing out these licenses is so rigorous by the Bank of Ghana. But when it comes to this, what do you call them, the forest bureaus and the mobile money joint, they are everywhere. Who is regulating them? Who is regulating them? And so, but it is also significant to note here that I have information that about 7 or so suspects have been arrested in this, what do you call it, the mobile money, what do you call it, Forest Bureau robberies. And some of these people indeed are foreigners. I don't want to sound xenophobic, but the truth is that we have some of the suspects are foreigners. And I'm beginning to see a particular pattern of crime where, you know, some of this style of crime is a bit new to our environment. And so I would urge that whilst we are opening up and bringing our neighbors into Ghana or allowing them to come in, we put in enough measures, you know, to ensure that the police is retooled. Policing is a shared responsibility. We can only push the police officers to do what they have to do. But at the end of the day, I think that these issues didn't start today. It's been there. I mean, it's been there several years. And so it is if you look at it, it's almost like something that was waiting to explode. And so, fortunately, I would say that my own checks do indicate that the Minister of the Interior and his lieutenants, I mean, they are pushing the Minister of Finance to put in a lot of money. I know helicopters have been in the process of being procured. About 3 of them are in the process of being procured to aid crime fighting in the country. And so these are some of the things I think the current regime is doing to be able to fight crime. What can be done has to do with vigilance. It has to do with vigilance on the part of those who, I mean, all of us. The truth is that the police cannot be everywhere as we speak. Even in Britain, in the US, Germany, it is not possible to have the police everywhere. And so what I would say is that we need to be calm. We shouldn't panic. Let's go about our duties every day. Let's not allow these hoodlums, these criminals to put us in a state of fear. I don't believe we've gotten there yet. I would urge that as a people, I mean, the police have the, you know, the 1-855, the 1-855 number. If you think you've seen something that probably needs to be of interest to the police, you call that number, and I'm sure they would gladly investigate it and probably get these people arrested. But just like I said, before you put me on air, I knew there were about 7 people who have been arrested with regards to the Forest Bureau. And so we have an updated information that says 9. It means that within this period, 2 more people might have been arrested because that makes it 9. If you look at the statement that is coming from the police, it means that the police probably are in control of the situation. I mean, our Ghana police is one of the best when it comes to the sub-region. But unfortunately, tooling them over the years has been questionable. And so that is where we find ourselves today. And so I would say that we need to go about our duties and report every incident. And most people put in objects in their house that are not necessary. Heavy duty, what do you call them, flower pots. And these are accessories that they will use in breaking down your door.
Until we understand the demographic changes in our society and design strategies in line with these changes, we'll continue to see worse and more daring armed robbery cases. That's according to security expert Dr. Kwesi Yenin, who explains that an intelligence and pervasive type of policing is what is needed to deal with the increasing spate of crime in the country. Dr. Yenin, who was speaking on Joy News' Current Affairs PM Express, hinted there's been a 45% increase in crimes within 1 year. Now, Dr. Yenin wants regular crime surveys to be conducted by the Ghana Police Service as one of the surest ways of curbing crimes in the country.
Policing doctrine and philosophy, as Paul and I are saying, cannot occur without a national security framework, which we don't have, which we've bandied about, we've spoken about. Different ministers have intimidated us, intimidated our friends in the military who thought, we had to have this philosophy. So there's a certain political lacuna in understanding how security management and policy making must be done. Then we have securocrats, both on the civilian side and on the uniform side, looking at issues of crime service. Until we do this crime service, and probably I should go to the bank and borrow some money, and we should do this service and then sell it to government. Well, I just don't get it, you know. So regular crime service and publication and audits demonstrating what is changing and how things are going. Then we need to certainly improve, Paul, our small arms legislation.
Yeah.
Ancient, not fit for purpose. Totally. And then evaluations. Paul will tell you, I don't know how many of these 33,000 officers have a contract that says this is what you need to achieve at the end of the year. Okay, so we've got to bring in public, management strategies. And then we need to be able to assess the impact of all these things that we've put into the basket, shaking it and throwing it on the table.
We'll take a quick breather now. When we come back, we'll be talking about the Jesuman sex scandal. We've got the president of NAGRAT right here in studio. Do stay.